taking a super quick look at a short film today, which is World of Tomorrow. It's directed by Dan Hatzfeld. I'm sure I mispronounced his name, but it is a 16-minute film. It is extremely interesting for something so simply produced. They're pretty much just little stick figure doodles. You get a bit of very simplistic background detail, but it's very interesting in the sense that in the film there is a clone who travels from 227 years in the future to visit her original self in the past. So she's basically just kind of, I guess, visiting her original just randomly because the ulterior motive is she wants to extract a very specific memory of her mother because she does not remember, but along the way she also has just a very adult conversation with a child who can't be more than 4 or 5 years old, and it seems like she was purposely dumbed down in order to offset the overly desensitized and intellectual clone. So it just kind of strikes me as interesting because some of the things that the clone says, because she's been cloned so many times already, and they eventually run the risk of deterioration over time. So she is very desensitized, not very human on her own. So she, over the course of her lifetime that she has described to this child, she forms strange attachments to inanimate objects. She once fell in love with a rock. She fell in love with some device and then some alien creature, and then eventually married another clone. But I just think it's very funny the way that the clone tries to describe her emotions, and the little girl, who pretty much just seems like an absolute dullard, she just gives a one-word response. Just something along the lines of, you missed so-and-so, or whatever, and the clone just cannot grasp the concept. So she's very non-human pretty much by this point, but it strikes me very interesting because the whole ideology is supposedly that the longer a person lives, you have the potential to become more human, more knowledgeable. She's very knowledgeable, but she's lost her humanity along the way, and I see that as very much a social commentary in the fact that, right now we're still in the age where we only get one life, and there are a lot of people who are very inhuman, and then you have some people who are just absolute empaths, like just very emotional, everything affects them, but it's just very interesting. The film and the subject matter, I mean, even though it discusses life and lifetimes, I think it's very interesting because it really does give you a lot to talk about. It's just kind of hard to go into detail without ruining too much of the film. It's like I said, it's a short film, about 16 minutes long. It's on Netflix right now. Unfortunately, I could not find it on YouTube, otherwise I would link that for you guys. I apologize, but if anybody does manage to find it, let me know and I'll go ahead and add that in the description box. But yeah, I just like very thought-provoking type stuff. I've been watching a lot of different stuff lately, and I watched this, I want to say, about 2 weeks ago, and it just really stuck with me, so I just wanted to talk to you guys briefly about it. But I guess if you've seen it, then we'll chat, or if you've seen any of his other short films that you can recommend, then I will gladly take a look at those. But that is it for now. I will talk to you guys later.